Hey you guys, and welcome back. I'm back again. We are going to discuss becoming. And so let me open up my notes. So what I have this down is personal growth. Becoming the woman I needed. And this is a full circle moment of the best friend, the sister, the mom. The first thing that I have is the version of me that said yes wasn't the same woman that said no. And essentially what I mean by that is understanding the moments in which I am operating in survival versus being soft. So pretty much I grew up in an environment where women were told to be submissive. And so for me, when I am dealing with someone, platonic or romantic, I tend to come from a place of servitude. So anyone in my family, if you go to their house, they're going to offer you something to drink, they're going to offer you something to eat, they're going to offer you. And I will say, I used to always think that I didn't want that type of hospitality back. But I have to say, if you come to my house and I'm always like, girl, you know, here, and then I go to your house and I don't get the same kind of like, I definitely be like, okay, I see how you are, and I question how you show up in like a lot of spaces. It's wrong, I probably shouldn't do it, but it definitely makes me kind of like side out of the situation. But I think also when you operate from that place, you want to evaluate if you're operating in survival or if you're operating in your softness. As much as people say there's power in your no, but I feel like there's also power in your yes. And essentially for me, what that means is not saying yes in situations that are going to make you feel uncomfortable. And so as much as I apply no, I also apply yes into the right situation. So the second one is confidence through accountability. So it's really about holding yourself. I'm going to give you one social media example, but then I want to share something with you guys also. I recently saw a video and this girl said, my ex-fiance has taught me the most valuable lesson. So apparently the guy called off the engagement. And what she said was, they were having a conversation and she said, I forgave you for this and I forgave you for that, and I did this one thing and now you want to like, you know, not be together. And he looked at her and said, from what she said in the video, it isn't my fault that you lacked confidence. And she was like very taken aback, because you think that you're doing someone a favor when in actuality you have just now taught the person how to treat you. So now they're not even thinking that that thing that hurt you as much as it did truly hurt, because for them, they know they would have made a different decision and you didn't make that. I got it, baby. Thank you. Yes.
You're gonna get back there and look at it.
I'm positive. Well, you could go look at it, make sure it's looking good.
You're not positive.
So my booby just got back from Africa and he's groggy and him is devastated. It's 2 days that he's been sleeping.
I
know. I'm not mad about it. Take get your rest.
It looks good.
It looked good?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I used to always say that I don't expect people to show up the way that I show up. And I had to really sit down with that through therapy and be like, you're a liar. You do want people to show up the way you show up. Why do you show up the way that you do? Because it is an expression of my love language. In order for me to know how to treat you, you have to kind of like show me. And if I see that you are expecting something more out of me than what you offer yourself, I'm not gonna do it. You know, there's definitely some moments where I was in friendships and I didn't want to share what was going on, just so I didn't make the other person feel like they weren't moving fast enough or they were being left behind, just based off of certain conversations that was being had and little tiny little digs that was happening through conversations. And I allowed these things to go on for a really long time until one day it kind of like came to a head. And when it came to a head, I had to take accountability of the simple fact that I never addressed the little small red dots. I won't call them flags just yet, but they were very small little red dots that I hadn't addressed. And I know for me, remaining silent was definitely to my overall detriment because the other person was clueless to what was going on. When I say clueless to what was going on, because again, if someone thinks that if something is being done to them and they're going to speak up and you don't speak up, they're never going to know that something is actually really wrong because you've never said anything. I now talk to myself the way that I would talk to my friends, the way I talk to my sister, the way I would want like my mom to talk to me. I say those things to myself now. That way I'm continuously giving myself space to grow, to express, to feel, and to speak up. Oh Lord, you guys, this one here is like, it's tricky, but it's not tricky, but it's very, very tricky. But it's redefining partnership. Growing up, I was always told like partnership is 50-50. But the truth of the matter is having a successful relationship, whether romantic or platonic, is sometimes it's 70, sometimes it's 30, sometimes it's 100. I heard something recently that said 1 + 1 = 11, where two people come together and they're like a stronghold. And I think for me, that's the new refinement of partnership, which means currently in my household, there's some days, like let's just say Monday through Friday, I will cook and meal prep like that Monday. Friday night, my fiance will order out. He will not ask me to cook. When he's sick and I'm healthy, he does absolutely nothing and I do absolutely everything. Or when I'm sick, he does everything, I do absolutely nothing. And when he's been out all day working, I run his bath, but he also runs mine. And I didn't know how much I would appreciate it until I got it, but that's always what I wanted. Like, it is difficult to put one thing on one person and expect that to be like the norm. When the dynamic is changed and the other person has to be something else, it's really difficult to come about that box. And then you have a bigger problem on your hand. I can 100% say that every single relationship, both platonic and romantic, didn't necessarily have to come to an end. I just feel like people have no interest in changing. And when that happens, I have to remove myself. I don't want my ideas not to have a place to live. I definitely don't want to feel stupid in my ideas either, because not all of them are great. But at the same time, like, I want to be able to have a conversation where we both can kind of like see it and to be directed properly. Let me say this, because this right here is going to be the last one, because this kind of ties in with this, and I already know it. It is extremely important that you understand who your friends are and who your partner is. And I say this because it is going to be monumental to who you become and continue to become. You have to have place and space where you're trusting the people that you put into your life. Someone has to be able to have a conversation with you about yourself and you receive it. I'm always curious to see how other relationships in their lives play out. And so there was one time in particular where I had said to myself, oh my gosh, this person is going on like a whole rant. I'm very supportive. I understand where they're coming from. But at no point have they taken accountability. At no point have they said it was them. Everything was the other person. I remember in that same moment when I had hung up the phone, I thought to myself, my God, today. I said, so if me and this person, and that's with any one of my friends or in relationships, if me and this person has a falling out, who are they going to call? Who are they going to talk to? Like, who's the person that's their confidant that they're going to get advice from? I had to go down everybody, and I had to really say, I know this probably sounds crazy, but everyone has a timeline in my life. And I know that probably sounds really bad. I'm so sorry. But they do. Because I definitely see how they rationale with other people. And based on how they react, I can then gauge where the relationship is going to go. When people discuss emotional intelligence, that's the part of it, is understanding that when you're hearing conversation, the accountability, the partnership, the reaction, like all those things together allow you to make up an assumption, an evaluation of the outcome. Part of becoming is understanding that the people around you aren't here to hurt you. And I'm only addressing this now because I'm on social media quite a bit. And as much as we may not want to address it, I do believe that a lot of the things that are happening online are definitely bleeding into real relationships. Currently trending, because my birthday just passed, is how someone's birthday should be handled. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, my thought process is the only person that's responsible for your birthday is your mother and your father. Outside of that, be blessed that someone thought about you. It's like when you're having conversations with people, this like friends paying for dinner, friends not paying for dinner. Let me tell you something. If you're in a friendship and you know your friend don't have no money, this is coming from me, you should not even give them a bill. If you have friends and you know they're a single parent and maybe you're not a single parent, you're living in a space or a place where someone's paying your bills or whatever the case may be, you should be mindful to that person's income. But to go out with somebody and to think that they're supposed to be paying a bill that they can't afford, to me, I just don't think that you're being a friend. So right now, me and my fiance are doing couples therapy, and we had to name who is the person that we're going to talk to. And not only did we have to name them, we had to be in agreement that that's who we both agree with. And it's crazy because we already had that conversation prior, because I'm like, if you're going to talk to someone about the relationship, you need to be able to be honest. And I do mean 100% honest. I don't want you to fluff lie, because if I talk about you, I'm not finna lie. I'm gonna say exactly what it is, right? We have to have those particular friendships where, again, we don't talk every single day, but baby, I know if I call that phone, I know whatever she's gonna tell me on the other line is true, like written in stone, okay? So I'm gonna leave you with a little bit of homework. You do not have 20 friends. I know you think you do, but you don't. You don't have 20 friends. I want you to take a piece of paper, and I'm gonna give you 5, because I got 5, okay? Write down 5 names of your closest friends, people that you know will essentially show up for you no matter what. And I want you to write down maybe like 2 to 3 things that you kind of hold near and dear to them. And then right next to it, ask yourself, are you showing up in the same manner? Because I do believe that friendships are a form of partnerships. So when I'm talking to you, I'm not just talking about relationships in general, like romantic. I'm talking about both romantic and platonic. But if you write that down, like, are you showing up the same way they're showing up for you? It's going to allow you to be accountable to either work on those things, and second, have a conversation. But third, once you've mastered your friendships, I feel like moving into the romantic phase of life becomes so much easier. A lot of us think that we are like amazing and all these things, and sometimes we also have to live with the idea that someone met you and you disappointed them. Like they thought you were gonna be A, B, C, and D, and you turned out to be E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Okay? And I think a lot of us are living in a fallacy that we're perfect, and we're not. Even I know I'm not. I'm not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, and it's okay. This is the last thing, and then I'm gonna go about my business. As a woman and as a friend, we need to work on not telling our female friends that someone not being in our lives was a loss. Naturally, as women, we are fixers. And so when you see someone go through a breakup, when you see a friendship dismantle, you have to trust that the person did their best in that situation. When you hear, oh my gosh, like, you know, this person fumbled or whatever, there's still a part, I'm gonna speak for myself, there's still a part of me that don't want to let the situation go, because in my head I start to process, oh my gosh, what is this person gonna do without me? I have to stay. Sometimes we have to learn how to sit in silence with someone and allow the feelings to feel and at some point like fade away without trying to coddle wrong information. And again, I'm only speaking from experience. I've seen things through my own friendships, and then I had to see things online that I was just like, if you see a woman leaving a friendship, a romantic relationship, whatever, please understand that she tried several times to make it work, and it just didn't work anymore. And now she's at a point of, I don't want to be here. So when she tells you she's leaving, don't guilt anybody into anything. Just be supportive. Okay? Anyway, y'all have an amazing one. I'm gonna go wash my makeup off and get in the bed with my man, honey. Y'all have a good one. Bye.